Yeah, nami ngoku ndifuna uba ngulaa mntu for abanye abantwana noba yeyiphi ilokishi okanye yeyiphi indawo babone mna bayazi uba ukuthi noba imvelaphi noba usuka phi ayithethi loo nto uba awukwazi uba kule ndawo ufuna uya kuyo noba une-struggles ezininzi. If ufuna uba le nto iyiyo uzayiyo wazoba yiyo emhlabeni. I really think an individual can change South Africa. And sometimes you gotta do something as simple as living your life and fighting for your dreams. And yeah, and sometimes you just have to tell your story.
Okay, and we are doing take one. Hey.
Hi, my name is Karabo.
I'm Shipalani.
My name is Charity.
How do you guys feel about the apartheid? How it has affected you, or how does it affect your families? How has that been with your experience and everything?
I grew up in Soweto, where Soweto is regarded mainly as a community that experienced apartheid a lot. So my father and my mom were born in Soweto, and I grew up in Soweto until I was 3 years old, and I moved to the eastern side of Johannesburg. So my mom witnessed the Soweto uprising, the June 16. She always tell me those stories. And, hearing such stories, I feel like her life, has been shaped around all those experiences, and making or growing up, I was exposed to such discussions, to such experiences.
So unlike Kamagona, I'm from Limpopo, so it's kind of different to experience apartheid in Limpopo. Here it was like you're in the liver, you're where there is a crisis mostly, so we didn't really experience it, even my parents. So it was just us black,
I experienced different races from a young age all the way until university. I think the apartheid thing has a bigger and a much more painful experience on my parents.
I think my context is also kind of very different because I basically grew up in a predominantly white school from primary school. I had so many white people coming into the house and everything. So it's kind of like you can't even deny it or say no, we have something against them, because we can't. Because we call them family. We spend Christmases together. We video chat. So we have a very bonded relationship with different races. And I think with my context, there's living in a middle class community. I don't think I've ever been exposed to not being able to get what I need. My father at the moment he stresses education, as he stated.
I can say that I grew up in a community where I went to a black-dominated primary school as well as a black-dominated high school, and I wasn't exposed that much to having white or other friends of other races. And even coming here to university, I find it somehow difficult to actually engage with other races, because I grew up knowing black people. I grew up with black, so seeing white people and trying to have friends, sometimes it was difficult for me when I was doing my first year. But then I have learned to, understand that they are also humans and that we are all the same. The only difference is basically the color of your skin.
When growing up, you can see, no, indeed there is differences because we travel from Limpopo to other region of South Africa. And some of the places, yes, apartheid is still existing.
Yeah. Being raised by a single mom, I barely knew my dad. I didn't even know him till this day. How old am I today? I'm gonna be 21 this year. And there's a whole man out there that is my biological father. I never know if I pass him every day or what's happening. But my mom having to raise 2 kids by herself, she only has a matric. She's not other qualification. And working a basic job in order for her to sustain herself. I had to get comfortable with what she's given me. You have to be comfortable with what your parents can give you. Now don't forget, there's only one person working in the family. And there's 2 of us. There's 3 mouths to feed.
During the rainy day, we experience that rain in different ways. If you're in the cities, you just look through the window and say, it's raining, it's a nice rain. When in the rural area, you have to worry about the road, the linking house, and all these things. So that's also happened in our cultures, depending where we are. But we are in South Africa.
Yeah.
But same means we are in South Africa, there is different places.
Yeah.
So our culture and the background, it also get affected of where we are and what we are doing and what experiences we are facing. Some of the situations doesn't come from us, but the people that we are living with, it tend to affect us or have impact in our lives.
If the 4 of you could give this new reality a name, what would you call it? This dreamed reality, this wish, this hope.
Now I feel like if we have to give it a name, it have to be something unique. Oh, we are.
Azania.
We are Anzania.
Yeah, Azania.
But Anzania has a lot of things behind it. When different parties explain it, it means change, it means good things are coming.
Oh, well.
It's not that. Everyone can put their own definition on Anzania.
Yeah.
But currently,
But what would you 4 call it? Based on what you just said your dream is. You talked about justice, you talked about equality, education, and opportunities. And what would you call this dream?
just have a name like rebirth, something related to rebirth, something related to change. I don't know what, but it has to be rebirth. It's like we need to be reborn.
Something new.
We have to be reborn for everything, not to be erased, but
But
yeah.
to grow from that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you look at the leaders that are leading us currently, it's quite difficult to be reborn again if we are now having feelings that we are not supposed to have because we were not there. So I think rebirth. Yeah,
Rebirth.
rebirth.
Yeah, but
I can only think of beautiful South Africa.
okay, yeah.
This name or this word, beautiful, just brings a lot of things. So I would really call it beautiful South Africa.
Okay, yeah. It makes sense when it says beautiful because beautiful has different things into it. It can be explained in a broader aspect.
Yeah. A reborn beautiful South Africa.
For so long we've been calling free South Africa.
Yeah.
Maybe it's high time we start acting like indeed free South Africa.
Yeah.
Just being South Africans that are being reborn.
And beautiful.
Beautiful South
Beautiful
Africa.
South Africa.